This is the story of an anime unknown by most, forgotten by many, but beloved by many others. Those around my age, no matter the country of origin, know the pillars of the anime airing in the late 90s and early 2000s. I was there, Gandalf, 3000 years ago. Pokemon, Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh! And even though they were older, the various Dragon Ball series had many reruns, maybe even Ranma, one of my favorites. But then, there were also some that didn't achieve such fame, they faded from many memories. One of them could be Monster Rancher, which I recently rewatched. It didn't age well. But digging in my memory, young me used to love a particular anime that featured as protagonist a cat. Not just an ordinary cat, an ill-tempered cyborg cat that had a gatling gun mounted on his arm and used to live crazy adventures. This is the story of Cyborg Kuro-chan. Greetings and SurroundEdByFreaks, and welcome to this particular video because I don't usually speak about anime on my channel. I'm not a super avid anime consumer, but the particular and unfinished story of Cyborg Kuro-chan prompted me to make this video. Although I thought about making a video on Naruto and why I chose Dozu as cosplay, but this is not the time for that. Back then, between an episode of Pokemon and one of SpongeBob, I remember about some silly characters and adventures of this cybernetic cat. Then, as an adult, I learned more about it, and I thought, this could deserve a video. I will focus more on Cyborg Kuro-chan's lost medias and ending. But if this video will bring you back some memories and make you smile, then it will have accomplished its purpose. First of all, a shout out to the YouTube channel Cyborg Kuro-chan Archive, HalKozy, and Diffusion. I obtained, thanks to them, lots of info, either talking or watching their videos. So let's get started! Wikipedia says Cyborg Kuro-chan is a children's manga series created by Naoki Yokochi. Sorry for the pronunciation, I don't know. Although I will say that especially in the manga it tackles topics and storylines not really child-friendly. It's listed as an action and comedy series, but I would also add a slice of crazy life, because it doesn't have much of a linear plot, rather each episode is on its own, maybe a handful of episodes are tied together with a plot, like when they travel to another dimension made of an ocean of sand. A little summary of the general plot. Kuro-chan, or Kuro, is a house cat of an old couple who are specialized in getting lost and putting themselves in danger. Kuro-chan is the baddest cat of the neighborhood, and therefore he gets kidnapped by Dr. Go, a mad scientist who wants to conquer the world with an army of cybernetic cats of his creation. Kuro-chan is therefore transformed into Cyborg Kuro-chan, but instead of obeying Dr. Go, he rebels, kicks his ass, and destroys his lab. From that point on, Dr. Go and his cyborg cat, Mi or Mi-kun, will live in a dump, the remains of his destroyed lab, while Kuro-chan, thanks to his powerful new abilities, will reluctantly become sort of a vigilante, defending his owners and the city from all the crazy characters he will meet, sometimes with the help of his frenemies Dr. Go and Mi-kun, all while hiding his cybernetic nature to Grandpa and Grandma. Many other characters will be introduced, such as Matatabi, Kotaro and Nana, all while Kuro-chan would just like to nap on the porch of his house. Now I'll get into the manga, but before that a little note. The Cyborg Kuro-chan franchise, mostly in Japan, included toys and video games published by Konami for Game Boy Color and PlayStation. I've also learned that there was a Kuro-chan inspired skateboard on sale in the United States, which also featured in some Tony Hawk's video games? What? All of this without Cyborg Kuro-chan ever airing in the country? But wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. So, the manga. The original run for the manga was from September 1997 to December 2001. The manga was finished in Japan for a total of 11 volumes. It had partial release in Germany and Italy, And it looks like a full release in France and Indonesia, but as far as I know it never got officially translated nor published in English nor Spanish. Which is already a reason why it never became an incredibly popular franchise. This isn't enough to call it a lost media yet, but for many people around the world, the manga is inaccessible. I know that there were some English translation projects, but nothing major. From 2002 to 2006, the spin-off series Extra Battle was published, which features some news stories with more comedic tones. But the interesting thing about this Extra Battle is that it was drawn by Junta Uchida, again, sorry if the pronunciation is wrong, under the supervision of the original mangaka Naoki Yokochi. Junta Uchida, by my understanding at least, was a Cyborg Kuro-chan fan. She used to create Kuro-chan fan art and fan comics and happened to be hired for the Extra Battle manga. I say she because my sources told me she's a woman, even though Google AI states that Junta is a masculine Japanese name, but this thing is sometimes inaccurate, so sorry if I'm getting anything wrong. In 2012, reprints of selected chapters were published, called Gatling Selection and Gatling Selection Reloaded. They each also featured one bonus chapter by Naoki Yokochi. In 2015 and 2016, the second edition or the new version of the manga was published. It was a reprint of the entire original series. For the great majority it remained the same except for few bonus chapters, some different scenes and title pages. Last but not least, since 2021, Naoki Yokochi started a webcomic called Dreaming Hyper. He releases one chapter per year, but I'm not really able to find much info about it. What I know is that it's based on the powerful Hyper Kuro form that the protagonist used in certain episodes of the anime. It is supposed to be the continuation of the manga, but I don't know much more about it. I must say I was very surprised to see Cyborg Kuro-chan medias still being produced to this day. But now let's focus on the more popular anime and we'll come back to the manga at the end. The anime started airing in October 1999. Just mentioned in 1999. The Japanese opening and ending theme songs are quite catchy and silly, although I have to say the opening that we had in Italy was a banger. And also the Spanish version of the Japanese opening and ending is very nice. So at first, a 26-episode anime was to be produced and aired on TV Aichi and affiliated channels. But given the success that the first episodes were having, it was extended from 26 to 78 episodes. But here we come with the first case of lost media. It's not too difficult to find the first 66 episodes in Japanese on the internet. For other languages, it's more complicated. On YouTube you can find 65 episodes in Russian. Although it's not really a dub, there is only the narrator's voice who kinda explains what's going on in each scene. 46 episodes in Greek and 13 in Italian. I do remember many years ago there were more than 30 Italian episodes on YouTube, but I guess the channel didn't have the rights and therefore it got sent to the Shadow Realm. Other dubs include English, Spanish, Indonesian, Chinese Cantonese, Chinese Mandarin, Arabic, Vietnamese, Thai, Korean, Croatian, and probably others. Episodes from these dubs are very difficult to come by, at least from what I can see, but unfortunately there is an update. These datas were correct while I was recording the video, but now that I'm editing it, they're not anymore. From Diffusion's video, the Cyborg Kuro-chan Iceberg explained. He also talks about these numbers that I've told you, and there are screenshots of the YouTube playlists from Mondo World Greece and Mondo World Italy of the Cyborg Kuro-chan episodes. He also talks about the Japanese episodes and the Russian episodes being uploaded by other Mondo World channels. His video is from August 2023, and things have changed. I am pretty confident that those channels were renamed from Mondo World to BB Kids. But then, for whatever reason, the various BB Kids channels in different languages deleted their Cyborg Kuro-chan videos. And in fact, here we can find the remnants of those playlists. And those Cyborg Kuro-chan episodes are not found on YouTube anymore. And while you can find the original Japanese episodes elsewhere on the internet, as far as YouTube is concerned, the Russian, Greek, and Italian dubs join all the other dubs in having none or a handful of episodes available. I will focus on the Spanish dub and the English dub because you understand that they are very international languages and they had potential to be understood across many borders. Those episodes are for the great majority lost. I've seen a handful of episodes here and there on different websites like Dailymotion or Internet Archive, but not much at all. The lack of episodes in these two languages unfortunately makes the anime unavailable to many people around the world. Now you may ask, what about English subtitles for the Japanese episodes? But unfortunately there is no such thing. I have been informed that in the past around 31 episodes were fan-subbed in English, but they aren't published anywhere on the internet by my understanding. And if you want to find them, you have to contact the Cyborg Kuro-chan community, I don't know. So about the Spanish and the English dubs. I have to say that during my research I found out that Cyborg Kuro-chan is somewhat popular in Spanish-speaking countries. The Spanish dub was produced in Mexico and it was aired in many Spanish-speaking countries of the American continent. But I haven't found any info about it ever airing in Spain. And even though it was moderately popular in Spanish-speaking countries, great majority of the episodes are lost. And just like the Spanish dub was never aired in Spain, unless you watching this video can confirm otherwise, the English dub was never aired in the United States, I think. It was made by Omni Productions, a Hong Kong-based company. It was an English dub made for the Asian market, and indeed it aired on the TV channel Animax Asia, based in Singapore. I imagine it was made so that the countries of that market weren't forced to make their own dub in their own native language if they wanted to air it, but they could just air the English dub with subtitles. I haven't found any source saying that this dub ever aired outside of East Asia, which is interesting because in an interview, the director of the English Kuro-chan dub and Dr. Go's English voice, Colin Shevlov, said that the dub was made with an English-speaking audience in mind. The interview was made by YouTuber HalKozy, which made a few very informative research videos on Cyborg Kuro-chan. During my research, it seemed clear that the Cyborg Kuro-chan English dub was made by Omni Productions, but watching one of his videos, it wasn't so clear a few years ago. And I imagine he's one of the fans who solved the mystery. So big kudos to him, link to his channel in the description. An interesting thing about this Omni Productions dub is that I've seen opinions about it, judging it a bit peculiar. As I understand, there was quite some artistic freedom in the English dub and the choice of the voices. For example, Dr. Go's voice is inspired a bit by Dr. Evil from Austin Powers. The cat Matatabi has an Australian accent, while he does have a boomerang. And the cyborg cat Mikun has a Texan accent.
This is my latest evil invention. Are you ready, Mikun?
If it'll help me beat up the traitor Kuro, then I'm ready, Dr. Go.
And not just that, but the English dub apparently required some heavy adaptation because, again confirmed by the director Colin Shevlov in the interview, Omni Productions used to get the scripts from the English dub from the Cantonese dub of Cyborg Kuro-chan, with very poor translations. At times, they had to improvise and figure out by themselves what was going on in the episodes. So how many Cyborg Kuro-chan episodes were dubbed by Omni Productions? Well, some years ago I remember reading that only 12 were confirmed. But in the same interview by HalKozy, director Colin Shevlov and Kuro's voice actor Sean Plevin both remember that 65 episodes, or at least more than 12, were dubbed. In fact, this is confirmed by old TV schedules by Animax Asia shown in another video by HalKozy, showing that 65 Cyborg Kuro-chan episodes were aired. This is again thanks to the research made by Cyborg Kuro-chan community members. Honestly, how do you find old TV shadows? Like, huh? Heroes. Now, don't get fooled by the quick results by Google AI. In my research, I found an alleged English dub of Cyborg Kuro-chan made by DIC Entertainment and aired in the US by none other than Nickelodeon. The info comes from the Fandub database wiki. All of that is false. The names of these voice actors are made up, and there's no source that confirms any of this. I don't know why anyone would write this type of misinformation. Like, huh? Why? What? Now, I'm a lucky one in this case because I don't need an English dub to understand the anime. Because I found in a very shady website 65 episodes with the Italian dub, which I understand because it's my mother tongue. I will not share the name of the website because it has some not safe for work ads, and a couple of those links are broken, making those episodes unavailable. But again, Davos from the Cyborg Kuro-chan archive kindly shared with me the 65 Italian dub episodes, which now sit in my computer, and I don't know what to do with them. Hopefully they won't be lost in time when I'll be called to Sovngarde. If you want some infos on the Italian dub, they are actually remixed episodes, meaning that someone took the Japanese video and synced it with the Italian dub. You can tell this because the episodes missed the logo of the Italian TV channel that broadcasted them. They have the Japanese opening with the Italian opening theme song, and some scenes have Japanese audio. I guess they were censored in the Italian adaptation. I can tell you this, many from my country who are around my age, 567 years old, have at least a faint memory of Cyborg Kuro-chan airing in the early 2000s. Not only because they remember this lunatic cat with a gatling gun, not only because we didn't get as many anime and cartoons as countries such as Japan and the United States, but also because the super catchy Italian opening. To prove its popularity, in one of my Lucca Comics excursions, I've heard the opening blasting from some speakers as sort of background music among other old anime openings. It's Kuro-chan, Cyborg Kuro-chan. I love that anime. The title Cyborg Kuro-chan was translated in Italian in Kuro-chan, roba da gatti, which is a play on words. Roba da matti means stuff of crazy people. It indicates something crazy is happening, but they modified this expression in roba da gatti, stuff of cats, which is quite fitting considering it's an anime in which most characters are cats who are batshit insane. And the name of Mikun was Emme, which is just the letter M. This is more or less all I can tell you about the dubs. We established that the English dub is for the great majority lost. Now, as I said, I'm not personally affected by this, but I do wish the best of luck to the community that is trying to find those English episodes, or if there is someone who is trying to find the Spanish episodes. Those two languages are important for the preservation of the anime. I have read info that the Cantonese, Arabic and Indonesian dubs are at least partially available on the internet, but you'll have to research them yourself. I don't know how to research Chinese or Arabic. But if you have been paying attention, you might know why Cyborg Kuro-chan can be sorta considered a lost media. At the beginning of the video I have mentioned 78 episodes being produced, but then I only mentioned 66 episodes in the Japanese version and at most 65 episodes in other languages. So where are the remaining 12-13 episodes? Well, I don't know if this actually qualifies as lost media because those episodes never existed in the first place. Episode 66 is the last Cyborg Kuro-chan episode that ever aired, and only in Japan. It's not too difficult to find it online nowadays, although I believe episode 66 was also considered lost up until some years ago, so that would have been truly a lost media. But probably thanks to the anime being rebroadcasted in Japan by some channels, it got recovered. The remaining episodes were never created, because unfortunately, the producers of the anime, Studio Bogi and Public and Basic, declared bankruptcy in December of 2000. I have heard that there could have been some illegal stuff involved, like money laundering, but hey, that's just a theory. I don't want problems. We can't find those lost episodes because they were never created in the first place. We know the titles and few drafts of the missing episodes. I'm showing you some here, uploaded again by Davos of the Cyborg Kuro-chan archive on Reddit. In episode 67, there would be a Yeti living in the cave behind the elementary school, and Dr. Go would dress up as a samurai. Stylish! In episodes 68 and 69, a new character, Kintaro, would have been introduced, a genius kid that pilots giant mechas.
Shinji, crank that, soldier boy.
Soldier boy, tell.
The same would have happened in episode 70 with cosplay girl Kaguya, Kintaro's sister. Not much is known about episode 71 except that it would have been focused on Dr. Go. The episodes 72 to 78 are lost in time. It's heartbreaking, but there's no way of knowing the ending of the Kuro-chan anime. Episode 66 doesn't have any special ending apart from this image that reads, "Thank you for the support over the years. Let's meet again sometime." But what about the manga? If the manga was finished, then could the ending of the anime be the same as the ending of the manga? Well, yes, but actually no. Turns out that the anime didn't follow much the storyline of the manga. The manga featured a bit darker storylines, such as the one of Goro Nagase, a kid from an abusive family who dies in a fire, and his soul is sort of transported into a cybernetic body. Moreover, the mangaka Naoki Yokochi said that he didn't have much involvement in the anime storylines and that he had no idea what the ending of the anime would have been. But from all of this, I can at least tell you my hypothesis. As I said, Cyborg Kuro-chan doesn't really have a linear plot like a shonen would have, but it does have elements of slice of life. If we go look at the ending of the manga, once again kindly provided to me by Davos via scans, it is somewhat a non-ending. After all, there is no storyline to end. The final chapter focuses on the romance between Kuro and Nana, and the ending is, well, they look up to the night sky, and Kuro just continues being a cyborg vigilante cat. It's very possible, maybe even probable, that the ending of the Cyborg Kuro-chan anime would have been very similar to that. Nichiju, one of the most popular slice of life anime for being batshit insane as well, doesn't have an ending either. One of my favorite anime of my childhood, Ranma, just ends with Ranma and Akane saying bye while they go to school. This is my hypothesis that honestly I consider rather probable, but the truth is we will never know how the Cyborg Kuro-chan anime would have ended, and probably we'll never get another episode, no matter how long we wait. But I will share with you a heartwarming fact before wrapping everything up. In a 2016 event, the Japanese voice actors of the Cyborg Kuro-chan anime did a live dub of the last chapter of the manga. That is actually very sweet, and it shows that Cyborg Kuro-chan is not totally forgotten. And if you think about it, thanks to this event, Kuro and Nana did say their respective lines that belonged to an ending that never came to be.
でも、あたい知らなかったの。冬がこんなにあったかいなんて。
I want to thank again the YouTube channels Cyborg Kuro-chan Archive, HalKozy and Diffusion for helping me directly or indirectly through their super informative videos. Check out their channels, links in the description. And here ends the story that I wanted to tell you about this crazy anime from my childhood of a cyborg cat with a gatling gun, Cyborg Kuro-chan. I hope it brought you back some memories and a smile. So, I'm surrounded by freaks, thank you for the support, let's meet again sometime.